Let's start with offensive player of the game. I've been waiting really since we previewed the Fiesta Bowl, who Anthony's darling was going to be on offense. I'm going to go with J.J. McCarthy. We talked about it earlier that the deep ball could be there against this secondary. I think that, I don't think Kirk Campbell's going to come out and try to do anything that Sharon Moore wouldn't. But, I think he's going to let his guy cook a little bit, the quarterback's coach. So I'm going to go with J.J. I do think part of this is we're not going to see a ton of the starters, in my opinion, but I think JJ is going to put up some big numbers in the time that he's in there.
I like Blake Corum. I think Blake's going to run like crazy in the first quarter, second quarter, coming back hungry after coming off that injury. So I'm going to go with him. I think he'll clip 100 yards pretty quickly in this game, honestly, and he's going to be your guy.
Andrew Anthony,
yeah. Make sure you read stat picks today, AB. Little nod.
I just saw it, you jerk.
I haven't seen it yet, but now I'm excited.
That's good. I'll never live that one down. So here comes the first kiss of death of the year. I'm going with Roman Wilson because the fact.
Oh, no.
First off, I know that he's a starter, so that's already something I have over the Andrell stuff from last year. But also, again, we talked about how the secondary of ECU isn't very good. I think there's going to be space both, in the short and intermediate game to get Roman Wilson involved, get him the ball with green grass in front of him, and let him go out there and make a play similar to how we saw in the early in the non-conference last year. So Roman Wilson, the newly minted number 1 jersey wearing Roman Wilson, is my pick for player of the game on offense.
All right. And Roman Wilson's going to have 1 catch for 6 yards, I
think. There you have it.
He'll drop a deep ball and his only target of the game.
If that happens, you are done picking for the year.
Yeah, we'll mute him during this part.
Yep.
Defensive player of the game. I'm going to go Josiah Stewart. I think we're going to see a good dose of him. I think this offensive line for ECU, 4 new starters on the O-line that brought in some transfers. They're going to, be trying to mesh a little bit up there. And Josiah Stewart, this is frankly the type of competition that he feasted against with 16 sacks over 2 seasons at Coastal Carolina. So I'm going to go with Josiah in his Michigan debut.
I like that, and I would probably agree with you, except that I think Derek Moore is going to go nuts this game. I think it's Derek Moore's time. I saw some flashes from him in the spring of elite passing rushing ability. We're talking not just getting around people, but going through people. So he's a little bit lighter, but I don't think he's lost any of his power from what we've heard. I'm going to go with Derek Moore.
I was thinking of both of those guys, but in the name of variety, I'm going to go with Keon Saab, who we expect to see obviously see him in an expanded role. Guy from everything we've heard is just flying around the field right now and has been described as a heat-seeking missile at safety. And excited to see him make some plays out there because I think even with good health in that safety rotation, I think both him and Zeke Berry are going to play a lot this year.
I like it. So staff predictions article is up over on the Wolverine.com. Check that out as always. I'm excited to read it fully here. I'm looking at it, but I don't have the chance to read it while I'm also speaking. But apparently a nod there to AB in the article. I got 59-7 Michigan. I just think this East Carolina defense is not very good. I think Michigan's going to come out pretty hot. Offensively, they got a lot of guys that kind of want to prove themselves. Donovan Edwards is healthy. Blake Corum, doesn't have a ton to prove, but he wants to get back out there, have a good showing. JJ, I think, as well. Some of these receivers, Colston Loveland. So I just think they're going to get it going and score quite a bit early, be able to take the foot off the gas. And I just don't think East Carolina is going to have enough offensively to score much on Michigan.
Yeah, I've got 48-6, and I'm with you. I think 6, 6 could be a stretch. It depends on really the secondary. If they break a play, maybe they score a touchdown. I don't see them moving the ball on this Michigan defense. I think that offensive line's in for a long day. Remember Colorado State last year, how overwhelmed they were. It wouldn't surprise me if we see something similar to that. Yeah. So what was the final score of the Colorado State game last year?
Was it like 56-10 or something?
Yeah,
let me look.
Something like that. So maybe they put up a touchdown, but I don't think they do. So I just don't think this. I think this is a good matchup for Michigan.
51-7 was that final.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I have. It's weird to feel like the conservative pick of the week, but I have Michigan 38, ECU 13. I just feel like just because there's unknowns with, again, I hit on this earlier, operationally how this thing looks. I mean, two pretty prominent decision makers not there. Obviously, the injuries on defense. I could see it. Given that there wasn't a lot of contact in fall camp, I could see it being a little bit sloppy early on, but things will level out. Michigan's offensive and defensive lines will take over, and we'll probably be talking about the starters in the game. If not late in the third quarter, maybe halfway through the third quarter or so. So yeah, it won't be pretty, but it will be businesslike, and on to the next week with more reinforcements back from suspension.
If Andrell didn't transfer away, how many points would you have Michigan scoring?
39.
Okay.